Hi, I'm Marcus, and this is a presentation on analysing receivables. Firstly, what is an accounts receivable? An accounts receivable is an amount owed by a customer who has purchased the company's product or service. But why is it important that accounts receivables gets analysed? It is important so that any investor, creditor, or manager of a company can determine how well a company manages its accounts receivables. The primary question that should be asked by the company is how well does a company collect its receivables? Now we will go through the different methods of analysing accounts receivable. First, we have horizontal analysis, which is the comparison of historical financial information over a series of reporting periods. To conduct this, you subtract the prior year balance from the current year balance and divide that by the prior year balance. As an example, let's use Woolworths, and here we see the accounts receivable balance as of June 2019 and 2018. Substitute these amounts into the formula and the answer is 0.08%. Hence, by conducting a horizontal analysis, we see that Woolworths' accounts receivable increased by 8% in 2019. Next, we have a vertical analysis which restates the account receivable balance as a percentage of total assets. The formula for this is the account balance divided by the total assets. Thus, when we divide Woolworths' 2019 accounts receivable by the total assets of $23,491 million, we get 0.03. By completing a vertical analysis, we see that the accounts receivable balance only makes up 3% of the company's total assets. Moving on to ratios. The receivable turnover ratio compares a company's credit sales during a period to its average receivables balance. So essentially, it highlights how many times during a period an organization generates and collects its receivables. Thus, the higher the ratio, the faster the organizations turn over its receivables. To calculate this, we divide the credit sales by the average receivables. For example, for the year ending in the financial year of 2019, Domino's Pizza had the following numbers in the financial statements. Substitute these numbers into the formula and we see Domino's turnover rate is approximately 6 times this period. However, the receivables turnover ratio is occasionally difficult to interpret, so it is often converted to days in receivables ratio. The days in receivables ratio acknowledges in days how long it takes a company to collect its receivable. The formula for this is 365 divided by the receivables turnover ratio. Therefore, Domino's Pizza days in receivables ratio is 65.68, which means it takes the company approximately 66 days between selling an item and collecting the receivable. Lastly, the allowance ratio is used to compare the allowance account to the gross account. This determines the percentage of receivables that are expected to be uncollectible To calculate the allowance ratio, we divide the allowance for doubtful debts by gross receivable. For instance, in the financial year ending of 2019, Domino's Pizza had the following numbers in the financial statements. Substitute these numbers into the formula to determine that 7% of the receivables expected to be uncollectible.